Hello everyone, I wanted to start this presentation with an uncertainty and a certainty. I am certain, completely certain, that I want to pursue a career in education, as I've been working with all types of students in different districts around the Kansas City area as a substitute teacher. I'm uncertain as to what grade level I want to teach. I know I don't want to teach anything lower than 4th grade, since I've been working a lot with that grade level the past couple of weeks, and these experiences have had their ups and downs, but I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards elementary, possibly middle school. That way I can actually specialize in something and not just be teaching a broad spectrum of things. But I digress. This is elementary or secondary education teacher. That is my presentation. That is the career track that I would like to be on. Brandon Vieras. Let's get started. Over the course of the semester, I've learned a lot about myself, my strengths, and my weaknesses. Through the emotional intelligence self-assessment that I underwent, I was able to determine that I have a strong sense of self-awareness that makes me an ideal candidate for the global studies track, based on the necessity of understanding my own cultural background and what influence that has over my actions and the way that I interact with others. I also had a decent score in the empathy category, which makes it less difficult for me to connect and understand the cultural backgrounds of others. Both of these qualities working in tandem make me an excellent candidate for the career path of an educator, specifically a teacher. Global thinkers are well suited for teaching positions because we're able to understand and connect with people of diverse cultural backgrounds. Global thinkers are also ideal for teaching positions because of their sophistication and traits like self-awareness and empathy, as well as the refinement of skills that they teach and the simplicity of these skills, which give these teachers the ability to teach many different levels of students. So, speaking with Principal Mercer taught me a lot about leadership and what it takes to be successful in the field of education. He's a leader who takes initiative and visits different schools around the country to see if he can integrate those ideas into his own school. That is the type of educator that I want to be. I want to be the type of person that is able to cultivate a culture of learning and exploring new and different ideas. Currently, I'm trying to be more organized with everything that is going on in my daily life, and I want to become more self-organized because of how useful that skill will be in the field of education. Empathy and having the capacity to listen to my students is also a highly important skill that I will utilize as a teacher, and I feel this applies to any age level. So students of all ages need to be able to develop a bond of trust with their teacher, and for that trust to be gained, teachers need to be able to listen to their students and understand their needs, fears, and their expectations. Something I'm genuinely attempting to cultivate within myself is the attitude needed to put myself in uncomfortable situations or simply being willing to leave my comfort zone. This is the only way that a person can change and grow, and I feel it's a necessity in education. Moving on to my motivation, completing my vision board that we went through really made me think about all I've taken on in the short period of time that I've been taking this class and all that I've accomplished throughout the many years that I've been going to ASU. I've been going to ASU since 2019. I'm very close to finishing my bachelor's degree, and I've been subbing for about 5 months recently. So I've realized how fulfilling working with elementary students could be, and it's motivated me to commit my career to a path more than I have ever been. So I'm also motivated by that and loss aversion, because I fear to disappoint the people in my life that are counting on me to be the best version of myself that I can be. My opportunities can arise from any place, that I'm able to recognize. Whether I'm working at Starbucks or working for Morgan Hunter as a substitute teacher, my opportunities to further my career are endless. In recognizing these opportunities, I will be able to find the right mentors that will push me to succeed in my educational endeavors. Throughout the last couple of projects, throughout the year, I have been able to pinpoint where I would be able to find mentors to help guide me on my journey as an educator. My interview with Principal Mercer was really eye-opening, and I was able to learn a lot about education and everything that goes into interpreting data gathered by the state, schools, and how one would act on that information. When I researched Malala Yousafzai, I was able to find out more about I could really look up to when I want to practice inclusion and advocacy for students who might otherwise be marginalized. Mercer represents a mentor in the education community that I can easily access as a part of my past education. Malala, someone who I will most likely never meet, but serves as an inspiration in meeting difficult challenges and holding the idea of education in high regard. I did add one more mentor who has popped up here and there in my life and has recently offered advice on getting a temporary teaching license. He also told me he could get me hired within the district in Kansas City, say if I graduated in spring of 2023, he could get me into a district, at least that's what he said to me, in August. So it would be right after the summer. Currently, he is a director of teaching and learning in the Lansing School District and has had over 12 years of experience in education. So I've just been really lucky to know him, really lucky to bump into him every now and then. So as an educator, my goal with any grade level in the classroom is to be able to include every single one of my students in the educational experience. And that's going to mean advocating for students who may have developmental disabilities or students who have difficult home lives. Every student needs to feel like they're a part of a community that they can lean on for support during hard times. I will cultivate a classroom culture of teamwork and advocacy that thrives in having room to fail and trying new things. Cultivating a classroom with a sense of camaraderie is essential, and so is taking ownership of their educational experience. I also must be willing to fail in order to learn from that experience and grow with my students. When I spoke with Principal Mercer, he showed me how important data was and how important context is with that data. And as someone who is on the global studies career track, I must also be able to integrate global ideas into something that I have the capacity to do. So that might take place in the classroom or outside of the classroom. And this is where Malala Yousafzai's example kind of comes in, because she already works with others and advocates for others on a large scale. Maybe I can do something on a smaller scale in my own community to advocate for others that need an education but are not receiving it in the way that they should. And after this is the noble goals. So noble goals, something that I've just recently read up on after doing some reading on these noble goals. I was able to come up with a couple goals that met the criteria and resonated with how I wish to live my life. One of them being to help students thrive and grow into individuals who are ready for the next step in life. The other being to act as a mentor for students who would otherwise not have positive role models in their lives, and then to find a purpose outside of work. So, a noble goal is supposed to be a statement of intent that guides one's wisdom and passion to put our emotional intelligence into action. So it's an opportunity to exercise empathy in a fulfilling way. It's finding the intrinsic value of a task because it helps achieve something beyond oneself. And I really relate to that concept because of the stark contrast about how I feel about both of my jobs that I'm holding right now, and that being Starbucks and Morgan Hunter, so as a substitute teacher. At Starbucks, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything. or at least anything of worth that feels important. But when I substitute teach, I feel like I'm helping teachers when they need it the most. Walking down the hallway after I'm done working or I'm done with a job, I'm thanked. Thanked for just being there, and I actually get real world experience in the classroom, and I get to meet possible mentors or future colleagues. So my first noble goal of helping students thrive and grow into individuals who are ready for the next step in life, this is a goal that's never really ends. It's always external. And I also use the word student a bit loosely. Many people who will interact with me in my life can be my student and me their teacher. So this goal is all encompassing. Belongs in the classroom and outside of the classroom. It inspires me to get out of bed, and no one is ever going to get hurt by this goal. My other goal, to act as a mentor, is something I find really important. Something that everyone should really have. And that kind of ties into everyone kind of being a possible student. So it's heavily related. Something that a lot of kids may lack, especially elementary students, is a positive male role model. This is something that Miles talked to me about, and just the opportunity of getting an elementary job if I was leaning towards that. And I can provide this experience as an educator. This is a goal that meets the criteria of nobility. I want to be able to add that into my repertoire. So the last one is just really simple. I just wanted to add a noble goal of finding a purpose outside of work. And that, to me, could mean a million things. It could mean making sure that I'm connecting with people in my hobbies, or that when I do practice a hobby of some kind, maybe it becomes a little bit more externalized. It's used to make other people feel good. I can be of service to others, but I can never neglect. I can be of service to others, but I'm never supposed to neglect the people in my life that love me and care for me. Therefore, purpose outside of work has to be found, and it has to be cultivated. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this class and this program. I hope you have a great rest of your semester, rest of your year. Goodbye.